You are standing in the shower aisle at the drugstore. There are 43 bottles of conditioner on that shelf, moisturizing, strengthening, repairing, color safe. For fine hair, for thick hair, for damaged hair, for hair that has been damaged by the products you use to fix hair that was damaged by the products before those. $8, $12, $18 for the big one. Every single bottle smelling like synthetic flowers and promising you something that washes right down the drain 6 weeks later when you run out and have to come back and buy it all over again. My grandmother Martha had hair down to her waist past her 70th birthday, dark and heavy and without a split end on it. She never bought a single bottle of anything for it. Not once in her life. What she used cost about $1 a gallon, and she got it at the feed store. Today I am going to show you exactly what it was, exactly how she used it, and why the people who sell you those 43 bottles of conditioner would prefer you never find out. My name is Eula Hatfield. I am from Harlan County, Kentucky. I was 12 years old the first time Martha let me stand beside her at the rinse basin after a wash. She had a brown glass jug she kept on the low shelf in the spring house, cool and dark, and she poured a small measure of it into a tin cup and cut it with water from the pitcher. The smell hit me before she even lifted the cup, sharp and sour, like green apples turning. I wrinkled my nose and she said, without looking up, that anything worth having smells like work before it smells like pretty. She poured it slow over her hair from the crown down and worked it through with her fingers and rinsed it out. And when she was done, that white hair of hers shone like pulled silk in the window light. I have used the same thing every week since I was 12 years old. I have never once bought a bottle of conditioner. For the folks who want all 200 of these mountain methods in one place, the remedies, the pest control, the food preservation, the cleaning, the garden, and the daily habits that kept my grandmother healthy into her 90s. I have written them all down in a book. You will find the link below. I will not mention it again. If you want it, it is there. Now let me tell you what this is and why it works, because the science behind it is simple enough that once you understand it, you will not need me to convince you of anything. It will convince itself. What Martha kept in that brown jug was apple cider vinegar, the raw kind, unfiltered, with what folks in the natural world call the mother still in it. The mother is the cloudy, stringy stuff that settles at the bottom of a good jug of raw vinegar. It looks like something has gone wrong with it. Nothing has gone wrong. That is where most of the good is. Apple cider vinegar has been made in mountain households and farm kitchens since the first apple orchards went into the ground in these hills, which is a very long time. The Cherokee used it long before there were apple orchards here at all, pressing wild crab apple and sumac berry into vinegars for exactly this kind of use. It was never a secret. It was simply the thing people used before somebody figured out how to put silicone in a bottle and call it repair. Here is why it works, and it is straightforward chemistry. Your hair, every strand of it, has a surface made of tiny overlapping plates, like fish scales or roof shingles, called the cuticle. When those plates lie flat and smooth against each other, your hair shines, it moves, it feels soft, it holds moisture, and the ends do not split. When those plates are raised and rough, standing up and catching on each other, your hair is dull and brittle and tangled, and it breaks. Most commercial shampoos, even the expensive ones, are alkaline. Alkaline means basic, the opposite of acidic, and alkaline is exactly the wrong thing for those cuticle scales. Alkaline raises them up, lifts them open, makes the hair shaft rough. Then the conditioner goes on and smooths them back down with a coating of silicone or wax, and you feel the softness, and you think the conditioner repaired something. It did not repair anything. It coated something. The next wash strips the coating off and raises the scales again, and you need the conditioner again, and you buy another bottle. That is not repair. That is a subscription. Apple cider vinegar is acidic, mildly, safely acidic, about the same level as the natural surface of healthy hair, which runs between 4 and 5 on the pH scale, meaning naturally on the acid side. When you rinse your hair with diluted apple cider vinegar, the acid closes those cuticle scales down flat and smooth, not coated, closed. The hair is actually smooth, not just made to feel smooth until the next wash. The acetic acid, that is the main active compound in vinegar, the thing that makes it sour, does this closing of the cuticle reliably and gently, and washes completely clear with no residue left behind. The University of Arkansas ran a study on hair surface pH, published in 2014, that showed alkaline treatments raised the cuticle and increased breakage significantly, and that acid rinses restored smoothness without the damage that heat or chemical straightening causes. Martha did not know any of this by those words. She knew that her hair was soft and strong, and she knew why it worked. She just called it the rinse. Now I want to say something honest before we go any further, because I will not skip the honest part. Apple cider vinegar rinse is not right for every person or every situation. If you have a dry or sensitive scalp that is already irritated or broken, the acid will sting and you should not use it until that heals. If you color your hair chemically, the acid can affect how long the color holds. Some women find it fades the color slightly faster, though others do not notice. If your hair is severely damaged from years of chemical processing, the rinse will help, but it will not undo years of damage overnight. Give it time, and do not expect it to do in 1 week what took years to create. And this bears saying plainly: a vinegar rinse treats the surface of the hair and cleans the scalp gently. It is not a treatment for scalp conditions like psoriasis or severe dandruff caused by a fungal issue. Those deserve a proper look from a doctor before you treat them with anything, including this. That is the honest word, and I will not skip it. Now, how to make it and use it. I am going to give you 3 ways: the basic rinse for everyday use, the herb-strengthened rinse for thinning or breaking hair, and the deep treatment rinse for very dry or coarse hair that needs more than the basic. The first method is the one Martha used every single week of her adult life. The second and third she used seasonally or when something specific needed addressing. The basic rinse, what Martha used every week. You need raw apple cider vinegar. Raw means unfiltered, unpasteurized. With the mother, Bragg is the brand most hardware stores and grocery stores carry, and a quart bottle costs between $3 and $4. Do not use the clear filtered vinegar from the salad dressing aisle. The filtering removes much of what you are after. The raw kind looks cloudy and smells stronger, and that is exactly what you want. Get yourself a clean plastic squeeze bottle or a mason jar with a lid, anything you can pour from easily in the shower. Before you wash your hair, mix your rinse. 2 tablespoons of raw apple cider vinegar into 2 cups of cool water. That is the ratio, 2 tablespoons to 2 cups. It works out to roughly 1 part vinegar to 15 or 16 parts water. If your hair is very fine, go lighter, 1 tablespoon to 2 cups. If your hair is coarse and thick, you can go heavier, up to 3 tablespoons. But start at 2 and see how your hair responds before you go stronger. Cool water or lukewarm, not hot. Hot water opens the cuticle right back up and defeats part of what you are trying to do. Shake the bottle once. The vinegar and water need to be mixed. Wash your hair as you normally would. Rinse your shampoo out completely. Then, with your hair still wet, pour the vinegar rinse slowly from the roots down the length of your hair, working it through with your fingers. Cover as much of the hair as you can. You will feel it immediately, a slight tingle on the scalp, a slickness in the strands that is different from conditioner. That tingle is the acid at work. It should be mild. If it stings, your mixture is too strong or your scalp is irritated and you need to dilute it further. Leave it on for 1 to 3 minutes, no more than 3. You are not dyeing anything. You are adjusting the surface chemistry and it does not take long. Rinse it out completely with cool water. Every bit of it. The smell will rinse clear. Your hair will not smell like vinegar when it dries. This is the thing most people do not believe until they try it. The acetic acid evaporates as the hair dries and takes the smell with it. If you leave the rinse in rather than washing it out, you will smell it. Rinse it out and you will not. Dry your hair as you normally do. Do not rub hard with a towel pad and press. Then let it finish air drying if you can. The first time you run your fingers through it when it is dry, you will understand what Martha meant about the rinse. Do this once a week to start. Some women do it every wash every time. Some do it every other wash. Your hair will tell you what it needs. If it feels too soft and limp, which can happen with very fine hair, pull back to once every 2 weeks. If it still feels dry and rough after a week, go more often. Listen to it. The herb-strengthened rinse for hair that is thinning or breaking at the ends. This is the rinse Martha moved to in her 50s when she noticed her hair was coming out more on the comb than it used to. She did not panic about it. She added 2 things to the basic rinse, and the shedding slowed and the ends stopped breaking within about 6 weeks. The 2 things are rosemary and nettle. Rosemary, the garden herb fresh, is best, but dried works fine. Stinging nettle, which grows along creek banks and field edges across all of Appalachia, or dried nettle leaf from any herb store or online for a few dollars a bag. To make the strengthened rinse, you will brew a strong tea first, then use that tea in place of plain water in your basic mixture. Put 1 tablespoon of dried rosemary and 1 tablespoon of dried nettle into 2 cups of water in a small pot. Bring it to a low boil, then turn it down to a simmer and let it go for 15 minutes. The water will turn dark greenish brown. That is what you want. Strain out every bit of the plant material. A coffee filter works if you have one, or a fine cloth. Let it cool until it is just warm, not hot. Now mix 2 tablespoons of your raw apple cider vinegar into these 2 cups of herb tea, the same ratio as before, and use it exactly as you would the basic rinse. Rosemary has a compound called rosmarinic acid that improves circulation to the scalp. Better blood moving through the scalp means the hair follicles are better fed and shed less. A study out of Japan in 2015 compared rosemary oil to a common hair loss prescription treatment and found it performed comparably after 6 months of use. That is not me telling you rosemary cures hair loss. There are conditions that cause hair loss that rosemary will not touch, and if you are losing hair rapidly, you should have that looked at. But for the normal thinning that comes with age and stress and years of alkaline shampoo, rosemary in your rinse water is a reasonable and time-tested thing to do. Nettle is high in silica and iron, both of which the hair shaft needs to stay strong and resist breaking. It also has a mild effect on the scalp that reduces the kind of low-grade inflammation that silently damages follicles over time. Martha knew none of these words. She knew nettle made the hair strong. She was right about the outcome even without the mechanism. Make a small jar of this rinse at the start of the week and keep it in the refrigerator. It will hold for 5 to 6 days before the herb tea starts to turn. After that, make a fresh batch. Do not make more than a week's worth at a time. The deep treatment rinse for very dry, coarse, or heat-damaged hair. This is not an every-week rinse. This is what you do once a month or when your hair has been through something hard, a season of heat styling, a winter of dry indoor air, or hair that has been colored repeatedly and feels like straw. To the basic apple cider vinegar and water mixture, you will add 2 things, raw honey and aloe vera gel. Real aloe vera gel, either straight from a plant you keep on the windowsill, which is the best way, or from a bottle that contains only aloe and nothing else. Read the ingredients. If there is anything on that label besides aloe barbadensis leaf juice, put it back. Mix 2 tablespoons of raw apple cider vinegar into 2 cups of water as before. Then stir in 1 tablespoon of raw honey raw, not the processed kind from the plastic bear, and 1 tablespoon of aloe vera gel. Stir it well. The honey will resist mixing at first. Keep stirring until it is dissolved into the liquid. The honey is what makes this a deep treatment rather than a surface rinse. Honey is what scientists call a humectant, a word that means it draws moisture from the air and holds it in whatever it is applied to. When you apply it to the hair shaft, it pulls moisture in and holds it there. The aloe does something similar and also has compounds in it that reduce inflammation at the scalp and create a light coating on each strand that is different from silicone. It is water-based. It washes clean, and it does not build up over time the way synthetic conditioners do. Apply this the same way as the basic rinse, after shampooing, but leave it on longer, 5 to 7 minutes instead of 1 to 3. The honey needs a little more time to work. Then rinse it completely clear with cool water. The honey rinses out fully. There is no stickiness left if you rinse well. Do not use this treatment every week. The honey is sticky enough that if you use it too often without fully washing between, it can attract dust and residue. Once every 3 to 4 weeks is right, or when your hair is telling you it is dry and nothing else is helping. Now I want to tell you what you will find when you go to the store and you look for raw apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. A quart of Bragg, which is the most widely available brand, costs between $3 and $4 at most grocery stores. Walmart carries it, Target carries it. Almost any health food store carries it. A quart will last you 3 to 4 months of weekly rinses because you are using 2 tablespoons at a time, and a quart holds 64 tablespoons. That is somewhere between $15 and $30 a year for your hair treatment. Compare that to a $12 bottle of conditioner that lasts 6 weeks, $50 a year. $100 more if you use the premium brands. And the conditioner is not closing your cuticle. It is coating it and making you buy another bottle when the coating washes off. Now let me say the honest thing about what this rinse will not do, because I said at the start I would not skip that part. This rinse will not grow hair that has stopped growing. It will not reverse hair loss caused by a medical condition, a thyroid problem, a hormone imbalance, or genetics. It will not repair hair that has been so severely chemically damaged that the cortex, that is the inner core of the hair strand, has been destroyed. Some damage cannot be reversed, only grown out. It will not replace the protective effect of a good leave-in treatment for women who heat style every day. If you are running a hot iron over your hair every morning, the vinegar rinse alone is not going to be enough. You need to also address the heat, and it will not do anything overnight. Give it 4 to 6 weeks of consistent use before you judge it. The hair you see on your head today started growing months ago. Change takes time to show up. Here is what it will do. It will make your hair feel cleaner and lighter because it removes the mineral buildup from hard water and the product residue that shampoo alone does not fully clear. It will make combing easier because the cuticle lying flat means less friction and less breakage on the comb. It will reduce frizz for the same reason smooth cuticle does not catch air and puff. It will improve shine because flat, smooth scales reflect light where rough, raised scales scatter it. And it will save you money every year you use it. Now I want to talk about the conditioner aisle for a moment because I said at the start I would come back to it, and I keep my word. The global hair care industry brings in over $90 billion a year. $90 billion. A large portion of that is conditioner and hair treatment products that exist, in large part, because commercial shampoos strip the hair of its natural oils and raise the cuticle, and then conditioners are sold to address the problem that the shampoo created. You are buying the problem and the solution from the same company. The active ingredient in most moisturizing conditioners is a silicone compound. Dimethicone is the most common, and you will see it near the top of the ingredient list on almost any bottle. Silicone makes hair feel smooth and look shiny by coating each strand. It is effective at that. The problem is it builds up over time, weighing hair down and eventually making it dull and limp, which is why there is a whole category of products called clarifying shampoos that exist to strip the silicone buildup off so you can start the cycle again. There is no company that can patent apple cider vinegar. It has been made in home kitchens for centuries. There is no subscription possible, no monthly purchase required. A jug lasts 3 or 4 months. You do not come back next week for another bottle. That is the reason a bottle of raw apple cider vinegar does not have a commercial on television telling you to buy it for your hair. Not because it does not work. Because there is no money in something that works and keeps working and never runs out fast enough to make you buy again. Here is what I want you to do this week. The next time you are at the grocery store, pick up a bottle of raw apple cider vinegar with the mother. Read the label. Make sure it says raw and unfiltered. Take it home. Mix 2 tablespoons into 2 cups of cool water in whatever container you have that you can pour from in the shower. Try it once this week after your regular wash. Then come back and tell me in the comments what your hair felt like when it dried. Tell me if you have hard water or soft water where you live, because hard water and the mineral buildup it leaves makes a bigger difference with this rinse than almost anything else. And tell me how long your hair is, because the women with very long hair always have things to share that I learn from. I read every single one of these. Next time, since we have been talking about what mountain women put on their bodies that the store would sell them at a price, I am going to show you what Martha used on her skin every winter in place of the lotions and creams that dry out and have to be reapplied every few hours. One ingredient costs almost nothing. Keeps skin soft for hours at a time and comes from something most people have sitting in their kitchen right now. It is the natural next step from what we talked about today.